guys, and welcome to today's video. I have the new Natasha Denona palette on my eyes today. This palette is called the Eye Sculpt Texture and Tone palette. I don't know why they're always such a mouthful. And as you can see, I've done more of a rosy tone look and then more of a cool neutral tone on this side. So if you want to join me in this video and see how I got these two looks, then please keep watching. I have been waiting to get my hands on this one. Just simple white packaging, and on the back there it has all the color tones. I have been wanting to use this now for a few days, but I was going to wait until I film this video. It actually comes with this little card in here, and it's got the shade placements in there as well, so you can follow this if you so wish. And she also has this grid here to follow, and it simplifies the entire palette. Because it's an 18 pan palette, it can be quite daunting for some people. She does have the grid in there to show where you can place the colors, and also it shows an easier way to use each shade. It's just simple and white at the front, very sleek. And then at the back here, you're able to pop out the shades and change the colors if you so wish. And these are the shades that you get here. They are absolutely stunning. I'm actually more impressed with it in person than I was when I saw it on the website. I actually had no desire to get this palette. I felt as though it was too similar to I Need a Nude. And I also have a lot of other palettes that I can get the same look with. However, I am so glad that I have gotten this palette because in person it's absolutely stunning. So I'm going to do two different looks. I'm going to start off with more of a natural look, and then we'll build a bit more depth up with it to get more of an evening look. And here are the swatches. So you start off with more of your rosy tones here, and then you've got your peach shades. Then you've got your yellow shades here, and then we're going to the cool tone shades, and then we have our warm shades. And then finally at the end here, we have the neutral shades. Within the palette, there are only two shimmery shades, which is this white shimmer and also this chocolate brown, which is quite shimmery as well. However, they're a very gentle shimmer. They're not like your usual Natasha Denona shimmers. They're very subtle. Now, I actually don't know where to begin. There is so many options. I'm thinking I'll start off with my transition shade, which is P2. So this is more of a peachy tone shade. Oh, it's just blending beautifully. The thing is, there are so many choices within this palette. You can go either way with this. It's just so smooth. You can get so many everyday looks with this palette. So many. It is such a practical palette. And sometimes that's just what you need. I find that I use Natasha Denona's I Need a Warm, I Need a Nude. I always use those when I need something easy. Always neutrals for work. Just nice everyday basics. And now I'm just going in with the shade P3. I'm just going to add a little bit more depth with a slightly denser fluffy brush. So go right in the crease with this one. This is P3. So as you can see, this one's just slightly deeper. If you're in a rush, you could just use that column, or the next day you could use this column. It's that easy to use. But I'm going to use as many colors as I can. So we're starting off with basic first, and then I'll add more depth to the look after. See, look how much more pigment that shade has. And just going in with that shade P3 on the other side. These are more peachy tone shades. And just going in with a flat brush, I'm going in with the shade R2, which is more of the rosy tone shade. I'm bringing this one right across the lid. She has different formulations in this palette. They're not just all flat mattes. There's a new formulation that she's actually added in here as well. It's just creating more of a deep rosy tone. So we've gone in with rosy and peach shades for this look. And then I'm just got my fluffy brush and I'm going in the shade R1, and I'm just cleaning up around the edge. And I've just got my eye intensifier brush and I'm going into the shade R3. This one's a deeper rosy tone. Just going to blend it on the outside. It doesn't take much to build up this look. This look's looking incredibly rosy, but for the next one, I'll concentrate on more neutrals and warmer shades. They're just so easy to blend in. I've barely had to work to do this at all. They sort of blend themselves in. I'm just going in with the shade C2, and I'm going to just go along the edging here just to give it a bit more of a cooler look. This is a first impression, so I'm just playing around with each color. This is normally what I do with palettes. I just play around with each color. This shade here is C1, so it's more of the cooler. So we've used peach, we've used pinks, and now we're using a cooler tone along the edging here. Just by adding the C2 color, we've gone from rosy and warm to something a lot more neutral and almost mauve leaning. That's the magic of this palette. You can steer the look any direction that you prefer. Now I'm just going under the lash line with the shade P2. Okay, so we've got a complete matte look. I am going to, however, add some shimmer because you know how much I love my shimmer. So I'm just going in with this C1 shade, which is that soft white shimmer, and placing it just in the inner part of my eye, just to add a little bit more of a shimmer look to it as well. Just giving the look a little bit more dimension. See, as you can see, this shimmer shade's not as intense as Natasha Denona's usual shimmer shade. It is extremely subtle. I haven't got any fallout so far from this shade. I think because it's not a heavy glitter. See, that's just opened my eye up a lot more. I just gently blend it and diffuse it with the other shades. And now I'm just going into that same shade for the inner corner highlight. That's actually the perfect amount of shimmer for the inner corner highlight. Look at that. Sometimes it's good not to have those heavy glitters because they can get in your eyes. I've had a lot of situations where I've ended up with the glitter in my eye and absolutely no fallout whatsoever. Okay, so I'm going to test these darker shades now and I'm going to use them as an eyeliner. We'll go in with the shade N2 and we're going to use that one as an eyeliner. And I've just got my Mecca Max slanted brush and we're just going to press it along the lash line. I just want to keep this look as soft as possible. And then with the second look, I'll add all the depth in. This is making such a gorgeous soft shadow on the eye. I'm just bringing out a subtle wing with that same shade. That's the thing with this palette. You can do absolutely whatever you please. You can steer the look in any direction that you want. If it's looking too pink, go into the cooler shades. If it's looking too cool, go into the peach shades. The possibilities are endless. Okay, I'm just going to go and put some mascara on and I will see you soon. So I've just added a mascara to this eye only because I'm going to add a lot more depth to this eye just to see how deep we can go with this palette. So to complete this more natural look, I'm going to pop on my Fenty lip oil. I just wanted to show you an everyday look that you can get with this palette. So I've just kept everything really subtle. I moved it from different transition shades so you can see the different looks that you can get. This one is a really lovely everyday look. I've kept the blush really simple and I've also got a lip gloss on as well. On this eye, I'm going to add a lot more depth and we'll see if we can get more of an evening look on this side. But so far, this is what it looks like as a day look. So I'm just working with what I already have on this eye. I've done this many times before. I've come home from work and I've had to scootle off somewhere at night and I've just added a bit more depth to the look that I wore during the day. Warm 2 shades. We'll get this look to look quite warm. I'm just blending it into the outer edge. Ooh, what a difference. See, this look's already starting to look more autumnal. What a difference, hey? And I'm just going in with a small fluffier brush. And I'm just going in with the shade N1. This one here is the shade that has a little bit more of a shimmer to it. And I'm just going along the outer V with this shade. I'm just going in with a W1 shade and I'm going to bring it under my lower lash line. I'm just going to bring in a little bit of shimmer in the middle of the eye. I always like to do this. It's standing out a lot more now against that richer tone. I can go even deeper. I can go into these really, really rich shades on the edging. So I can make it deeper. I don't know, guys. I might try and make this look even more deeper if I can. This is a lot more eye makeup than I'd normally wear. I'm just going in with this shade W3. I'm going to see if I can get more depth. Oh, I'm daring today. Woof. Wow, that is very pigmented. Just trying to tone down this eyeshadow look. I'm going to be here for a while trying to blend this out. I went a little bit overboard. Okay, so now I've got my angle brush. I've tried to fix that up. I went a little bit too excited with the darker colors. I just wanted to see how deep I could go with the colors. I felt as though that one was quite deep for me. I am, however, going to go into the shade N3, which is the deepest one in the palette, and I want to see how it works as an eyeliner on this side. Okay, that color was really great as an eyeliner also. It just created a lot more depth. So as you can see the difference between these two here, this look is still quite deep. You can actually get an even lighter look than this if you concentrate on the more neutral tones. You can get a very natural look. This one's leaning quite pink and rosy now. And then this one has come out more of a darker neutral tone. It is unbelievable how you can just keep changing the look to be more yellow toned, pink toned. It is actually fun to play around with. Well, this is the final look. On one side of my face, I have more of a rosy tone look. I have more of a dramatic neutral look on this side. So you can go with any undertone that you prefer with just changing up one color. It is absolutely the most versatile palette that I've come across. Now you must be wondering if you actually do need it if you've already got Natasha Denona's other palette. I'm actually going to compare this palette to some of her other ones. I think the closest palette it would have to be to would be I Need a Nude. So these are the two side by side. I almost didn't purchase the palette because I felt as though they might look too similar. But when you're actually looking at them side to side, there are quite a lot of differences with them as well. So there are some similar colors in there. The pinky tones are clearly very, very similar in both palettes. However, the Sculpt and Texture palette actually has a lot more deeper tones in there. I feel like out of the two, this one's much more versatile because you can change your undertone and get so many different looks. Whereas I find that the I Need a Nude palette leans quite pink. And just comparing it with the Glam palette, as you can see, there's also quite a few similar colors in there as well. Particularly the warmer shades are very, very similar in this palette. So I feel as though you could easily dupe this palette with the Glam palette also. I feel as though if you have the Glam palette and the I Need a Nude palette, you do not need this palette because I feel as though both of those palettes combined actually make up this palette here. I am absolutely thrilled with the variety of looks that I can get from this palette. The formulation was absolutely brilliant. It is, however, missing those gorgeous shimmer shades, but I feel as though this is obviously meant to be more of a basic everyday palette, and it definitely feels that brief. I find that I will get plenty of looks using this palette, and I'll be happy to pull it out and use it, especially on days where I have to go to work. If you're going to use the darker shades as a eyeliner, I'd recommend that you do your foundation first because I had so much fallout with those darker shades when I used them as eyeliner. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video, and I hope you found it helpful. And if you found this video helpful, please hit the like and subscribe button as it will help me out a lot. And I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.